Welcome to our 22nd episode of Luther's Large Catechism for you. This is the weekly study of Luther's Large Catechism for the staff at Green Valley Lutheran School. The staff members are asked to watch this introductory video, look at the material, respond to it, react to it on the Group Me staff meeting Luther Large Catechism page. React to one question in the manual or one situation, and then respond to one of the other teachers, your colleagues' answers. All right, in this episode, Luther, boy, he is like a dog worrying a bone. He just can't let go of the big idea from last week, the Word makes the sacrament, because there are many supposedly weighty and controversial questions surrounding the Lord's Supper. Primarily, if a wicked man administers the Lord's Supper, is that Lord's Supper valid? I mean, if my priest was an unbeliever and he administered the Lord's Supper, celebrated the Mass for me, did I really get Christ's body and blood because he was a pagan, he was an unbeliever, a toady of the devil? And there were lots of questions like that. And Luther says, if we look at the Word and focus on the Word, because the Word makes a sacrament, then we will cut through all of these discussions. Of course, the sacrament is valid, not because of the person. It could be an unbeliever or a saint headed for heaven. They don't make that bread Christ's body. They don't put Christ's blood in with the wine. Even an angel in heaven doesn't do that. But Christ himself, by his simple words, "Take, eat, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." And the bread, with the Word, makes a sacrament. Then Luther gets to, because the misuse of something doesn't destroy what it really is. Then Luther gets to the point that I want to talk to you about today. The big idea is that this Lord's Supper is for you. That's the big idea. This is for you. Once again, Luther turns us to the words. This is why we take the Lord's Supper. Here we receive a treasure from heaven, a promise of the Lord himself that through the eating and drinking of his true body and true blood, we have forgiveness of sins. Luther didn't go into it too much, but I want to explore it a little bit with you. Why do children break the classroom rules? Well, you could say, because they sometimes can't help themselves. But sometimes they obviously can help themselves. They are in control of themselves. And yet they break the rules because they think the rules do not apply to them. There's a little pipsqueak, I say, that's inside each one of us that exempts ourselves. The rules apply to the rest of the class except me. We see that in our society too. Some people think that they are above the rules. The rules apply to everyone else except me. The devil is not content to leave that little pipsqueak, except me, operate only in this worldly affairs. He takes that attitude towards the Word of God. These wonderful passages in the Bible, God so loved the world except me. God was reconciling the world to himself except me. Oh no, in the Lord's Supper, Jesus addresses that. And Luther, at the end of our reading, does talk about how we need this food for the soul to overcome the constant hindrances and temptations of the devil, the world, and our sinful human nature. But here is our sinful human nature, egged on by the devil, applauded by the world, saying, no, this is not for me. I am exempted from God's forgiveness. For one reason, either I don't need forgiveness, I'm so holy, or I am so bad, I am beyond all forgiveness. And Jesus says, oh no, this is for you. If you can taste it, touch it, feel it going down your throat, this is for you. And in the surest possible way, he proves to us that he did die for us on the cross. He gave us his very body that hung on the cross. He did shed his blood as the redemption price for us. For you, what a wonderful thing that the Lord comes to us in this sacrament and gives us such strong assurance of our forgiveness of sins. Good luck with the material. See you next week.